Welcome to another episode of Talks with KG, where we keep it real and nothing else but real. And tonight, we put in a little twist to things, you know? I know all your accustomed seeing the artists and them, the producer and them, the music industry vibes. But you know, Talks with KG, we make a space for everyone, you know? So tonight, I have a surprise. We here with Shanaria, aka Shan the brand.
Very well pronounced. Very well pronounced.
Yes, I. So we're gonna give it a touch now. You know, here we Talks with KG is love. You know, so as I say, we open the platform to all, and I get a call. Somebody called me this week and they was like, KG has somebody I feel I want to interview. I said, who's that boy? He said, Shan the brand. I said, Shan the brand. No. I into the music industry side of things, you know. I ain't really know too much about the other side of things, like the comedians and the TikTok influencers and you know. Now I in tune to everything. So I see your face a lot, you know, you and your husband, I see the whole vibes, I see little times when all it was trending for all kind of different things. But I can't really tell you exactly what it is. I can't give my mouth liberty and say, well, I know about this, I know about that. So tonight I also want you to teach me, and you know, because it seemed like you're doing your thing.
Oh,
you know,
like
because
that.
as they say, when you're haters, you have to be doing something. You understand? And always look from the outside, it doesn't look like you get a lot of hate, right? So before we dive into that though, for the people that might be saying, KG, who's this person you bring on your platform, you know? Let them know.
Hi guys, I am Shan the brand. I am the co-managing director of Fed Travelers alongside my amazing husband, Love Kumiex. And I guess now I would use the title influencer. I never used to before. I like calling myself like a marketing director or a project manager, but it has become a space to allow some influence. So also now an influencer.
Well, you see, the interview now start and you done teach me something already. You are the what? The manager?
I'm the co-managing director. It's two of us. So my husband and I, we own a company called Fed Travelers. This is the old logo, but this is the brand. And we own a company called Fed Travelers, which is basically like a marketing platform for Caribbean products. Carnival is just one of the products of the Caribbean.
Oh, so Fed Travelers and you all market things from the Caribbean?
Yeah, so basically what we do is we cover all the carnivals in the world, and through the carnivals we do marketing of bands, events, products, services, people, music, things. It's more like a platform to showcase the experiences of the Caribbean culture. Carnival is just one of those very, very mainstays.
So how long you all doing that?
3 years, 3 years. 3 years, I would say 1 year in this specific format, but 3 years altogether.
So what made you all come up with that business idea?
Because
it's a business, right?
Yeah, it's a business,
right?
I had a company before called Random Entertainment. It came out of UE days when I used to kind of do marketing for students. The same thing that I'm doing now, just specific for students. And when I went to the US, I started following Voice around for his tour. And I started, like I used to go live and used to see the live, and people started to kind of just ask me to do other things. So I started to do interviews, and then I met my husband. And when I met my husband, he was phenomenal at content. And we got this random idea to he just gave me some money and he was like, okay, we're going to do some carnivals. It was supposed to be Jamaica, St. Lucia and Grenada, I think. And when we went to St. Lucia, after Jamaica, we was like, yo, we really traveling to Fed. And then we just made a brand for Travelers.
All right. Explain to me, how do you make money through a business like that?
Through Fed Travelers. So it's through marketing. So different products, services, brands, people would invite us to engage into the experience, and then we would market that. So I usually like to build pitch campaigns. So I would look at your product, figure out how I want to engage your product and how I could connect the product to people. But we do organic marketing. So it's not like I could just buy influence. It's more like a case where we have to actually engage in the experience in order to kind of genuinely validate what we experience from that experience.
Give me an example.
Okay, so for like carnivals, a carnival band, may say, hey, I want you to advertise to the people, and we may be invited to do content creation for the band.
Yeah.
And just content creation might literally just be living and showing the experience. Some people may actually want you to build campaigns where I may put ambassadors on the road or put people to try and taste the product and just connect. I just call it organic marketing because we always focus on making sure it's real time with real people.
Shan, you're shocked, man. I now understand why my brethren say you have to interview Shan. Because when you tell me that, I say, alright, I know all you're going through all the little bacchanal thing. And like people feel talks with KG is a bacchanal platform now. So I tell myself, well, it's probably that. So I go on your page and now when I start to do my little homework and as I say, I see your face already, you know, you and your husband, whatever. But I never really dive in to see what is it like, what, because it have a lot of people who on the social media and they're famous for no reason. I'm just saying, you understand? So I probably thought that you were just famous for just being famous, you know?
I mean, a little lucky. Like, you know, sometimes it just...
But then it was all of
that going on
and
as well.
You know, you had this company and all it was going all over the world and I probably late. People might be watching this and saying, KG, you late out, you know? But so be it. I learn small thing. It sounds very interesting.
It is.
Right, so you and your husband traveling through the Caribbean or the marketing divide.
Not just the Caribbean, you know, because like we do Miami, Atlanta, we're going to Malta for Ibiza Soca Festival. And now that the company kind of focuses on actually allowing members to join, we expand into like Europe and Canada to be able to kind of get them to connect to our culture now.
You all do that already or that is?
Well, technically we do it already, but it's just very small. We're just allowing it to become bigger. So it's already open, but more so to people that we have met or people that reached out via social media. But now we are opening the campaign because we now have a website that my husband built and it is beautiful. At travelers.com, he built it from scratch with his own hands. I saw him. But yeah, so that platform now opens and allow people to kind of join on their own instead of having to be recruited.
So where the social media fame come from then? What happened for that to open?
My husband already made content on his own. He was Trini King before he was Love Kumi X.
Right.
So he used to make like American influence content. And when I met him, I started making TikToks where I would tell like my business. I would just like talk, like I made a specific video about a girl and a situation that happened in the past. And people wanted the second part and the third part, so I told her the whole story. And then I just continued telling those stories because back then I had no boundaries. So it was very deep, very real stories. And
I just say back then you had no boundaries because I think the first time I ever saw your face was with the viral video of you and your husband.
The podcast.
And apparently you was busting some files. And my dog there sit down in the corner and he like, oh God, Gail, why you Gail, you go tell them everything. I think that was my introduction to like, what is this? Yes, that's what that basically what you're saying. You had no boundaries.
I think that was most people's introduction to me, my brand or my marriage and stuff. But yeah, basically, so before the podcast, I used to tell a lot of just what was going on because I live a crazy life and I just was telling those stories, both of the past and the present. And I don't want to say the fame came from that, but that's where I started like garnering followers and things like that. And naturally, the carnival business was just happening in between. So the company was building off of my husband's natural fame, what the company was already doing, and the fact that the stories were going simultaneously.
Now that was Ray Jones now. But the first time I see that video, I said, well, why is this? But I didn't understand now. Because I feel like I relate to some of these things. But I was like, what is this? And then from that now, well, obviously, as I see on the TikTok, I would see you and your husband face more often now. You know, as I say, I'm more into the music industry thing. So my algorithm on that kind of time now. But recently, I couldn't help but see this carnival had real bacchanal.
So I mean, every carnival has bacchanal.
Yeah, but this one was dreaded.
Yeah,
so I was more in tune to everything that was going on this rounds. And then I see the little scene with you and up to now I still don't understand what really happened I just saw your video, and it was like, I didn't want to come here, and I feel so sad. I was like, but what is this? Why you want to come around the girl for? 'Cause I don't know what's going on, and I just see you looking sad now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you coming around so strange for, and why just see you making a small content, whatever, what it is. Explain to me what going on.
The best I could do is tell you what I think happened or happens, but I make content, and I guess that sometimes I'm a little too bold with the content to some people, at least in their own interpretations. So this carnival was a rough one in terms of the Trinidad carnival space and what it means to me and how much I feel like I personally fight to be here. I'm not saying that there is a fight, I'm just saying that it feels as if it's harder for me.
You fight to be here as in way in the industry.
As in within the industry, like to fit within the space.
Right.
Mostly because of the fact that like I've been doing this for a while in terms of this exact type of thing. And it's not that the brand doesn't grow, it's that I feel like sometimes I connected very directly, very intentionally, and very effectively with certain brands and people, and it just never built to fruition. So I just never felt like I was growing, not at the same pace, but even alongside some of the people that I was moving in.
Right.
And that probably was a mental sort. And because of the fact that I posted this time, I didn't focus on public content. This time, I just focused on my own brand and the things that I feel like genuinely doing as a person.
Right.
So when I was getting the negative or the hate from that, I think that a little bit of the two things collided, and I started to feel as if the hate that I was seeing online was the hate that I was feeling from the industry. Because a lot of people think that I'm trying to say I don't think people like me. I don't even care about those things. I just think that I cared that the people that I needed to like me in order to survive in the industry didn't. And that was personal. And a lot of people kind of just have many opinions. So it became about my body or my color or the fact that for some reason my relationship is a very huge factor in terms of what I provide as a brand, my energy, my personality, just so much of the things except what I can do as a person in the industry.
Right. So, as you said, so these feelings were really coming from comments.
Not really, no. It's not that the comments bothered me. It's more so that the comments in that moment reminded me of what was happening in real life. So it just felt like, why you keep I can't think about time that it just felt I couldn't. Because honestly, this specific situation, as much as it was a lament or because I make these videos all the time. Sometimes they go viral, sometimes they don't. And this one just happened to go viral. But that's how honest I speak all the time. That's how passionate I speak all the time. And I think that lament sent out a cry that opened my eyes to so much care. There was so much positivity and just opening up my eyes. So in that moment, I think that what I was feeling was just more so the negativity of the space. The fact that it's very hard, and not just for me, but it's just very hard to exist within the industry because of the very specific block roads, the very closed doors, the very private meetings, the very strong ability for who you are and who you know to influence what you can do, and how much it lacks the sense of talent or skill and just connection.
Right. So, all right. For instance, artists have a lot of cries, same way. You know, like artists will come up on the platform and they'll talk about fight down in the industry and all different things, right? And people will try to underrate those type of terms and say, so you are a firm believer in the industry is a how to put it? What you think it is? A racist industry, a classism
I don't think it's
industry?
Racism. I just think that it's cutthroat in the sense that I don't think everybody's it's a sense of hunger instead of a sense of development, and I genuinely believe that that's why soca on a whole, and I don't even mean Trinidad industry, I just mean soca as an industry, the way that these events or the promoters or the public, the way that it just even begins in the way they treat a promo girl, the culture amongst the DJs, the way that the artists are treated off and on stage, the devaluation and consistent re-evaluation of who we decide is cool.
Talk.
I feel like there's so much of, we have decided that these people have already made it, let's just keep helping them make it. And the community seems as if you're bussing, I don't know, even the people that bussing just forget they didn't bus, but when you're bussing, once you enter that gate, it feels as if you have to remove so much of yourself or so much of what you represent just to be able to fit in these dynamics. And then what it does is it does not continue for real growth. It doesn't even allow for genuine space and additions.
Jeez.
It feels conflicted, and I think that is what the intention behind the statement was, because I'm not gonna lie, I get real blessed, I get real blind, I get real trashy, but all of those things were very much in the space of we could just do it for the labor, we could just do it for the vibe. And when you work really hard in the industry and you think you have paid your dues, the industry humbles you and reminds you that the only due you need to pay is access. The only way that you get in is if we say that you can, and we see that when the cliques get formed and the communities get built and they are forced to forget each other, you see even the public forgetting what the truth is. People don't really follow the story, and I think that I cared a lot, so I know a lot. And I've lived a lot, even though I've just been here for a very short time. I've spent real time in the industry, genuinely connecting with so many different spaces, because this was always something real for me. And I think that was the problem. I was coming to this, I work for free for all now. Like,
of course.
I doing this thing out of a different type of love. And I realized that if you don't have the biased love for money, and the ability to forget your genuine space to pretend, which is two things that I'm not. I'm not money hungry, and I'm not a pretender. And because of those two things, I've now opened my eyes to understand it's not a space that I can enter, so it's not a space I want to fight for.
Ah, boy. So as you say that, right? You're somebody that's keep it real, you know? And as you say, you can't pretend. I just feel the same way, you know? I have to be me, regardless if you like it or not. With that now, as you say, is a space that is probably not for you, right? That means you're going to stop. That means you're going to give up on your dream.
Nah, I never give up, huh?
Right. So how are you going to
It's
survive
always a
in
sense
this
of
space?
re-evaluation. Like, that's the thing. I don't want to survive in this space anymore, because survival is literally what strikes you out.
So what are you going to do?
It more so a case of I'm in a mental space of actually doing. You see, what I was willing to do was partner with, assist along, try to connect with. I was trying to map a ecosystem where I could connect artists to dancer and promoter to patron, and you know, that's what I wanted to do, build that community instead.
The full machine.
Now I'm focused more on what naturally came out of what I was trying to do. The fact that I have built a community that genuinely, at least as far as I am aware, believes in the thing that I'm saying, because I always keep it real. And as a result of that, I'm planning to move along the sides of providing them the access, focusing on the people, because my company was very back-centric. It relied very heavily on the support of the actual band, the actual promoter, to be able to provide access for these people to see. And if I'm giving these people consistent, I just be like calling phones outside of the fete and thing to try to help the brand. So understanding now that maybe that is not where the value sits. It's now from a place of, I still want to do this. How do I do this? I connect directly to the people. So I have now re-engaged the community, my company, to become more of a community where people can now become a part of our brand, and through that we can decide what we would like to do as one song, one brand.
But I'll figure it out for sure.
Hopefully it feels like that.
I mean, because you're on the right path, as you say. You don't want to exist in this space anymore.
It's not I don't want to exist there, no.
No, we know what is the space we're talking about. The space is, we don't have to impress nobody. You know, you have your own thing going, your husband has your own thing going, all your own brand, and it's a valuable brand. The thing sometimes has gone with us. I mean, the comments, we could say it don't get to us, we could say that, but we're only human. And at times we might be like, why people fighting me so much, boy? Why do to deserve this kind of hatred towards my energy, boy, you know, that kind of way? But we have to remember how valuable our brand is. And I think the day when we realize how valuable we are by ourselves, that is the day when everything does change. So I'm glad to hear you say that, because when I look at the comments and certain hate that you would get, right, is a different type of hate. It's one thing for people to hate somebody because they do you something. And it's another thing to hate somebody because of
who they are.
You don't know. You understand? That is the part where I could never relate to now. You know, and sometimes I had a question myself and ask myself, what really going on in this place? Like, you see somebody trying to do good, especially a black woman. Plenty of all these black people and sharing some kind of things and saying some kind of things. Now, I know Trinidad is a place where we just laugh and we just giggle for everything.
Yes.
But at what point we go in and draw a line and understand? Dog, a lot of people shallow too. A lot of people lacking spiritual connections out in this life. Because I say, you're a black woman. That's the first thing I just see when I look at you. That's the first thing I just see.
First thing
a
I just
black
see too.
woman. Watch here with the little afro thing. You know, black energy. And I could never disrespect no black woman. Further, that's a black person, but a black woman. My mother is a black woman. My sister is a black woman. I come from black women. My grandmother is a black woman. I was raised by black women. And we also know the struggle that black women does go through. Black men does go through a lot of struggle. But brother, black woman, you blessed to have a husband that love you and all these things. Because you know the society we living in. So how you could fight a black woman? You understand? So when I see them things, I just be like, I understand. And I could never respect that. You think? So when I get the call and they say, you know, Shan, interview, and I check out the energy, I say, nah, I had to interview that. I had to bring you here because I also know that this platform I try to kind of, I know you're on the kicksy thing now, but,
Yeah.
you know, I'm more on the serious side of things, you know, we're talking real, because it's one thing to be on social media and share something and laugh, and all of we does do it, you know, but at some time we had to come down as people and have real conversation.
Real conversation. And that's the biggest thing that the industry is failing at. They do not like the real conversation.
They are afraid of the truth. You understand? And I could never, as you say, I can't exist in that space. You understand? If I had to water down my platform just to exist in a space, fire burn
Create
that.
your own space.
You understand? And that is what I'm doing. You understand? As you're talking about black women.
Yeah.
Right? I know you have a lot of views on that. You know, your upbringing. I know I was hearing you talking about the way your father used to talk to you, all them kind of vibes. Give me some insight on that. How was that for
The
you?
relationship with my dad?
No. You
Like
was
just being a black woman?
Growing up.
I mean, honestly,
the school
I
system,
hate saying this because the internet always misinterprets me, but
We do business about them.
I never knew or considered myself ugly until I became like a big adult. I think it was when I went to New York. It's when I started hearing those things about myself. It wasn't something that I felt, but I just fear enough to respect your principle. So sometimes you hear me say things like, oh, well, people think I'm ugly, or I'll be ugly to that person. That's just because I don't care. I respect your principle.
You know what killing me?
Well,
You not ugly.
I know, but
What
there's
the
people who
embarrass what
have
you're
the
talking about?
principle.
What is really be going on out here, boy?
People have their own taste. Somebody think you ugly somewhere, you know.
But-
You just know better.
Brother, you know, I telling you. You not ugly.
I appreciate
So
it.
I don't
Thank
even
you.
understand where that narrative come from. So that is what teeth in my head now, boy. And I don't care because I be seeing people in your comments saying, why you like to play the race card? Everything is not black thing. Dog, everything is fucking black thing, boy. Or you're off, boy. Because I know that the only reason them go use the words ugly for you not ugly. What is that?
This is beautiful energy. I'm taking all of that. But yeah, I mean, so
So
because
as you
of
say,
that.
you went to New York and
Yeah, New York is where I started to kind
But
of
how it
see
happened though? Like people was telling you ugly?
Well, the culture is a little different, so it's not really like cuss out because they don't be cussing here. They just have public opinions. So they would just say those things, and I would hear it a lot. And I would explain some of the things that I would have gone through in just life. And every time I tell a story, people would always tap it back and tell me they're only telling me that because I'm ugly. They always interpret those stories that way.
They only telling you that.
Because like they be like, they treat you like that because of the way she look, or they.
Or they will always.
So I
right.
started hearing a lot more
Of
of
that,
the
yeah.
because I'm in Tobago. It's not that I'm popular; it's just small. So I'm known because I danced. So
you're from Tobago?
Yeah,
Right.
and I didn't really. Well, I didn't walk through tongue and hear I didn't hear those opinions. So this was something new for me, and I started talking about this new experience a lot. So I think people started to receive that I thought I was ugly because of the fact that I just still, I also very much misrepresent. So I'm very lazy. So like I don't fight up with all the hair and
Right.
all the dress up and all the. I now start to try lashes and makeup and I underpresent a lot in terms of what people deem the normal standard, and I also go a little below that sometimes. I'm very comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
So because of a lot of those things, I started hearing, you know, she could present better on those things. So I now became aware to something I was doing my entire life without any backlash. I do have friends that would always be like, you know, try harder, but they love me regardless. So, and I always felt like, irregardless of whatever I presented as, I always felt educated, I always felt talented, I never felt lesser than. And I think that new sense of feeling lesser than just got wrapped up into the identity of darkness and imagery and what I look like, because that's just the conversation I was having at the same time. And then worse yet, I snatched one hell of a man, one very phenomenally amazing man, and women were not honest enough to admit to the fact that sometimes you step into a relationship, endure something, choose to stay, and then walk out winning. People are not ever willing to at the end of the story, because I think that people didn't want to believe that I could get a fairy tale. So that conversation became their public opinion, and because of the way that I exist and small things like the fact that my man could whine on a girl in a fit, or that I don't care about how these women look like, and those real feelings, somehow that became my entire identity now. So I became the girl that underrepresented and is attached to a man with abs who does wine and he don't love she, and they make the podcast and she's sad, and every time she's sad it's always about the man, and it's just always wrapped up into something with that. And that is why the conversation became so big and black, because I was always the same girl, saying the same things, interested in the same things, doing the same things. The conversation only became more louder because one, I became more public, and then two, my man was hot. It was just two things that they could not take at the same time.
Right. How your husband does deal with that? I mean, he right in it. He could probably come and answer. Come and answer now. Come and answer. Come and answer. Come and answer about that.
Catch me off guard.
Yeah, son.
Yeah, catching me off
Yeah,
guard
come
too.
down, man. Come down, man.
Alright,
Come
no
down.
mic, or we just...
Well, the girls, let's hand him the mic. How you just handle that, bro? God? Because let me tell you something.
Alright.
I
Don't
have.
even, oh Jesus.
I looking
know
bad?
nothing.
Yeah, I looking
Nah,
bad.
they nothing, man. They
This
talk
man
to
real
KG,
wicked enough.
where we keep it real.
Wickedest
and
man on the
nothing else
internet
but
right
real.
now. Alright, we keeping it real.
That's actually wickedest man on the internet.
Alright, let me go.
Yeah. How you guys deal with that, bro? Because if people calling my wife ugly, bro, that could fuck with me mentally. Of course. How you guys deal with that? Talk
So
to
I'll
me.
tell you-
Give me some gems.
Before it gets so public on social media that people like bashing her and stuff like that, she was dealing, like she said before, she was dealing with stuff like that in New York. So initially, we had to deal with it internally before social media, right? So that was, I guess that was like baby steps into a new realm, because I didn't understand the perspective that she was coming from at first.
So she was telling you these things.
Like she was telling me these things, but I wasn't seeing it, and she
you
was
didn't
telling
study
me
it,
like after the fact and stuff, so I wasn't seeing it in real time. And it wasn't until like took it upon myself to actually listen and try to understand where she's coming from, and then after I understand where she's coming from, it was like, okay, I see what you mean. You're not ugly, but these girls, I feel like these girls was jealous.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're unhappy.
And I think she understood that these girls was jealous. Like, no, for real, like these girls was jealous.
They're unhappy, brother.
The relationship was something that was honestly sudden. It wasn't something that was planned, of course, but it was sudden. And at the time, I was a different person.
Yeah, you out there playing yourself. Yeah.
I was a different person.
So
I was
when
a
you
different
bust
person.
down news,
My
you know.
mindset, I'll be honest, my mindset wasn't where it is right now.
Yeah.
My mindset, to be honest, if I think about it, I feel like I was lost.
You was young.
Yeah, I was very young. I was very young
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
stupid
yeah.
stuff. So I was a different person, and then we suddenly got into this relationship, and then we suddenly got very serious in a space in New York where people didn't understand where I was coming from. They thought that she was ugly. They was like, why are you even with her? Why are you standing beside her? All this kind of stuff. So it was a lot in emotion.
So how
in
you
New
was
York.
dealing with that in the earlies? Because I mean, when
Dog,
you're with somebody
well, I'll
for
be honest with you.
years,
I'm a
it's
chill,
one thing.
I'll be honest
but,
with you. I'm
know?
a chill guy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a chill guy at fault.
Right.
So because I'm so chill, my wife has a lot of emotions and she's very out there, right?
Yeah.
But it's because I'm so chill, sometimes that irritates her. And then
Don't call me.
No. Sometimes that irritates her and we get into a banter.
Yeah.
But to be honest, after the banter is where I
It just
truly
common
understand.
sense.
Yeah, is where I
It's a
truly.
weird communication.
It's very weird
Yeah,
because
I
we
feel
get
that.
into a banter, but after the banter is when I actually truly understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Because you know when you come down from an argument and it's like
I feel you.
you're like, nah, she was actually right.
Yeah.
But it's my pride.
Right.
Over the cases. So after the banter, we banter. I realize where she's coming from and what was the beginning of the question?
How you
He's always
Alright,
handle it.
how you deal with it in the beginning? Because
Right,
I say,
right.
when you're with somebody for years, it's one thing to be loyal and
Yeah.
your thing, and you ain't
But
care what
yeah,
nobody say, but in the
But
beginning, that could
basically
turn
what
a
I'm
man
saying.
off now.
That's basically
Yeah.
saying because I'm a chill guy at fault. To
Right.
me, I was too chill about it because I didn't understand where she was coming from.
Right.
So it wasn't until when I understand where she was coming from, I was still chill. But now I come from the place where okay, I understand. I feel like it's because these girls jealous.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just stand beside each other and just keep doing what we doing.
Right.
So I was like, to be honest, I could cuss here.
Oh, what do you mean?
I was like, fuck them. It's me and you, baby.
Yeah.
We going to stand strong. We going to do the content that we have to do. We going to
Right.
build the company the way we need to build. Besides, like even after the podcast,
Right.
because after the podcast, I was getting hate galore.
Right. Yeah.
So
they
before
kill you.
she was getting the hate, then after the podcast, I was getting the hate.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm a chill guy, I was feeling that heavy. I was feeling that heavy, but the same rules
Hiding it
apply.
well, though.
Hey, I was hiding it well. I was too chill, but the same rules apply.
Camera roll into the camera, man. Yeah, I
Same
see
rules
it.
apply. Fuck everybody. We ride it. We ride till
We
dawn.
just used to do like this random, like, that's kind of how we even ended up in Trinidad. I need the mic.
Yeah.
So damn.
Yeah, let me make sure
Oh,
they
you like
everything.
this?
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's like, you could hold it.
Yeah, don't matter.
Yeah, that's probably how we ended up in Trinidad too, because it would be like, if the space not working, he cut it off.
Yeah,
if the
yeah.
space not building,
And
we
that
just
was
move
all.
on. And it was just weird because it was so consistent. We needed like a sense of community, authenticity, realness. And that's how we started to like really dive into really doing this. Like, because that's how we kind of realized we were wilding to it, because we were genuinely just having fun in life.
We was having too much fun.
Too much fun, and
We
we
didn't
realized it was weird.
We didn't understand the capacity of Fed travelers.
Right.
We
Or
didn't
the
un-
intention.
Yeah, we didn't understand how big it was gonna get and how fast it was gonna grow.
Right.
And we didn't understand the obligations and the priorities that we were supposed to have because of that. So we was having too much fun.
Yeah.
And then we was talking too much of our business. And we was traveling the world while doing that at the
thought
same
we would,
time.
like,
Like,
even for me specifically, and I think that, like I said, I just admit the influencer thing. Like, it wasn't ever about, it was supposed to be, this is who I am. I take me as I am. So either you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
I just saw people that follow, engage, or move on. It wasn't like when I look at my DMs and I see the conversations that I'm having, because I respond to them, or if I don't respond, I see it.
Right.
I am that down to earth. I want to talk to you like a real person.
Right.
And when I look at the kind of conversations, whether it's about relationship, whether it's about business, whether it's about influencing, darkness, your body type, your skin, where to go to fit, how to fit. And that's also why I think I used to feel offended not fitting in this space, because I was sitting at home and just spend a whole day and type in the name of the event alone and sit down and respond to all the comments that want to know what to wear to the event, if we should go, how to buy ticket. I redirecting links. I encouraging us to go. I'm making the content for free, mind you, and still begging the promoter outside.
Yeah.
And it started to feel as if, I don't think it was intentional, it started to feel that way.
Yeah.
And all of that was coming out of us realizing different spaces. So if it wasn't working, cut it off and move on, cut it
Yeah.
off and move on, and then that method wasn't working.
yeah,
We had to cut off too
that came
much.
to a fault because we was cutting off too many people. I think I
Wait up.
don't think either one of us understood why
The
the
hate
hate
existed.
existed.
We didn't know
because
what was
it was
going
two
on.
sides of
Yeah,
things. One
right.
side was the hate, and then another side, people absolutely loved us. They said, forget all the hate, you have to continue
No, but you all
this."
have a lot of supporters, you know.
Yeah.
I know with the
Yeah.
hate
So
that's
it's-
come the love.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
so weird. Like they really
Yeah.
said, if you're doing something right, haters would come.
have
But it's
to,
like
have to.
it's weird because
And you need
I
it.
do not understand why the hate is there, because we are a married couple
Right.
traveling to carnivals, enjoying ourselves, sharing our experience, bringing people along, building a community. What are you hating
Like, we
that
just
for?
never understood what we were
Yeah.
doing wrong. Like, what was the conversation? Like, even if I am
Like,
the
what
blackest,
happened? Like, what
why
happened?
is that
Yeah.
the issue?
What
If
did
I
you-
get, and you know what people say? People say it's because the podcast, because
But even if, let me
That's-
just say that's what it
Yeah.
is. But how, even if I'm an idiot, even if
Wake
he
up on
cheating tomorrow, how does that affect the value of the work? Or is it? Or is it?
I say you're not no idiot.
You don't have to. You don't
You better do that.
You know the way I was like,
No, talk.
If it
I'm
was,
just saying,
yeah.
even if I was ever supposed to be, I never understood. And the worst thing is that I think I felt very clear in my message in the podcast. Clearly, I was not, but it felt to us because when Shan, that's the guy who did the podcast, when he came, mind you, when I look at your podcast, exactly what you stand for and all the things that you represent on your podcast, Shan also he's trying to emulate that same. Before I even know you, that's what he's mentally about.
Who?
So he's an artist called Shan.
Shan.
Oh, the person
who did the
podcast. Yeah.
So he's the guy who invited us to the podcast. And when he invited us to do the podcast, he invited us because New York cared. Sorry, baby. Yeah, I realize your hand is in there. Yeah. He invited us to the podcast because at that point, not the whole of New York, just a very small portion cared. And we thought that we were just going to sit down and answer the questions of those small portion in one video. Because like I said, we were public, we were wilding, we were living, and a lot of the things that we addressed on the podcast was already public knowledge. So we were just answering or filling in the gaps. We didn't think the world would watch it.
Yeah, we was addressing.
I had no idea that everybody.
We was really addressing that for the people of New York.
Right.
And not really everybody, just like.
That was our podcast in New York.
That was a
Yeah,
podcast
we
in
did
New
a
York
podcast in New
for
York.
the people in New York because they were the ones who really had questions about our relationship.
Not to be face or
And
nothing,
yeah,
just
but
like
hearsay, and it would always come back to us. You know how the things go.
Right.
So we was addressing the people in New York, and then, like she said,
Go on.
certain things become viral,
Yeah.
and this went all over Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, so when
All over
it
the
went
Caribbean.
out, I felt as if I was making. Sorry.
That's all.
I felt as if I made my message very clear. What I thought I was saying was, yo, I meet the man, we was out there wilding, it was stupid, I came to sense, he came to sense, and now we are here. That is what
But
I
they don't
thought.
believe he come to sense.
And that's
Exactly.
the issue.
Yeah.
And that is
Because
what
no man
built-
does come to sense.
Exactly.
Right?
Hey,
All man
no,
is dog.
They feel like
Forever.
Right? All man
they feel
is
like
dog.
every man is just steady.
No,
same
Yeah,
man.
yeah. No man
we
don't
can't
go.
go,
No
we
man
can't-
don't try to change
Dog.
nothing
It's not that to know, it's that they felt like a man wasn't going to try to change for me.
for you. Yeah.
That
But they wasn't willing to
No,
admit
can you
that.
see? No man ain't changing for all you either. So
That is why, because no man ever changed for them. So they like, how could a man change for her? Because my baby's amazing, all your mad. Come on, Marcus. All your mother. Anyway,
can't
yeah. Anyway. So
that is it.
But yeah, and it felt like some people chose it
Right.
as a narration. Like when I came back, I started hearing that the podcast is the reason that we can't use it for this. Okay, the podcast
Weird.
because it's my truth, and the mere fact that people saw us, like I'm not pretensive, you know. If I vex outside. If I vex inside, I vex outside. And because we were very honest on who we were, and very vividly, we messed up in the past, people knew. So if we acted as if stuff wasn't going to happen, they would have talked about it the same way.
Well,
So
we're
why
just
were they
being
mad
real.
that I talked
Yeah.
the truth?
Why being real?
And
I hope
we learn we
people
cannot
can't
be,
take that.
Yeah, we learn we cannot be that real, right?
No, don't say that because here why? All you being real is what really expose all you to the world. The first time I see all you and all is when all you was
But that left
being
a
real.
very weird taste in so many mouths.
It don't matter because with fame does come that. And with success does come that. You can't run from that. I sure about that. It have a set up podcast just like mine. But you know why it ain't working? Because them talking about things that nobody don't care about. Everybody sit down to watch to all you're talking. All you entertain the public, regardless. I tell you, it don't matter who don't like it or who like it.
We trying to do carnivals and bring people together.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Jamaica,
All you have a brand. All you have a brand.
Cool,
Now all you can push all your brand. Now you can do all your thing.
Jamaica, yeah,
Name a
man,
celebrity that don't have something that we could say ha 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 to. Name one.
I mean,
That's
in
fair.
Trinidad,
To
we
Michael
pretend as if we don't
Jackson.
know.
To
Well,
Beyonce.
well, the industry itself.
The
yeah,
industry
pretend-
now-
Pretends as if
pretends
they're
like nothing
shiny
happened.
clean. So that's
Them
why
lying.
my mess
we know the truth.
was weird because they are shiny
Yeah,
clean.
but the thing
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
only
yeah.
the people in the industry really know the
No,
truth.
yeah.
Yeah, but that
To be very
don't,
honest.
we have time with that. And then, to me, in this new world of things, if you're not prepared to be authentic and be real with your fan base, you ain't gonna really reach no way. So don't feel like all you're doing the wrong thing. Don't even regret nothing that happened. That grew all year, and that was supposed to happen. I'm telling you, don't fight them, brother. Them home. And but them so good, yeah, because you know, they go say, oh God,
yeah.
But it's true. You know, a lot of people miserable and
That's
wish
bad.
there wasn't all your place. All you know that you not have a lot of women that want a man who love them.
I
and
really learning that, you know,
admire
like
them.
he humbling because I really like woman, liked, genuinely believe
Like,
that
Be
we
careful what you say.
liked. I really liked woman. I'm not
I
there
mean,
no
I
more.
feel
like
I'm
you're
not
still-
there no
I
more.
feel like you're still a girl's girl.
You
I'm
can't
not
like.
there no more.
Like by heart, you're a
I'm
girl's
not
girl.
there no more. Women have shown me that I should not be there no more. I do not.
So woman
like
worse than man.
Woman. Nah, I ain't
So
saying that.
woman worse than man.
We need an
Woman
answer.
worse than
That's not a question.
man.
It's a simple answer.
To each other, yes.
No,
Things that women do
I
to
mean,
each
no,
other.
that's the answer.
No.
That's the
Nah,
answer.
yeah.
The mind of a woman in a relationship. You think a woman worse than a man? From your experience. True love.
I'm amazing.
No, you probably are, but I just mean.
Okay,
mean
if I
in
use it my
general?
friends,
From your
like,
experience.
the average woman that I know versus the average man that I know,
Right.
woman not worse than man, but I know
Woman
some
not
dogs.
worse than man? Oh.
I know some men that just do too much, but honestly,
Yeah.
I just always believe that women deserve the most. You know what I mean?
I mean, worse than man in terms of what? In
Like
terms
just
of how they
being-
treat each other? Like how a man would treat an next man or how a girl would treat an next woman?
No,
No, I mean in a relationship, as in,
Relationships
aye,
and
so
that.
you had experience with women and men, as in, man is dog.
right.
We know the things that a man could do. He could be
Right.
sneaky, he could...
Oh,
thing
you
that
asking me
the
if
way
I'm
a
with a
woman does
woman or if I'm
function.
with a man, which one is better?
Which one is worse?
Which
Yeah,
one is
I
worse?
never dated a woman, so I would never know.
But you had interaction.
Yeah, I just like,
The
but I
feelings
don't.
and things.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I just mean like
then
the conniving
then yes,
ways,
then woman worse than
the
man.
cheating ways.
In that regard,
Yeah.
I would say woman worse than man, but not really.
Yeah, but you know, every time a woman say that, that's break my heart. Because I be like, I know it's true, but
'Cause you had hope.
woman real dread for real, boy.
I don't
I
know.
feel like there's
girls do them
exceptions.
thing.
I feel like there's
I have
exceptions.
no friend. I have no waste girlfriend.
I feel like more
I don't
What?
know what I
no.
have.
What the ass are you?
honestly,
No,
I'll be
I
honest
don't.
with you. I'll be honest with you. I feel more women are better than man. It have more better
good
woman. Yeah, more
than
good
men.
woman than good men.
Facts.
Because most of the women I've met throughout my life,
Are
I
good
feel
women.
like
Good
are good women. to
Are
be honest
fairly
with you.
good.
Fairly
And
good.
most niggas that you meet,
Yeah. So
Let them
yeah, the
crack.
circle was never the best circle
Yeah,
when
I
it came
mean,
to
I
men.
mean.
Yeah, I feel like the things that men, and that's what was so disappointed about the podcast too. That men were not willing to stand up and be like, me too.
Yeah, because they were like, I would never say.
Yeah,
that.
and they would never.
They
They
would
would
say,
never
I
what?
would
They
never.
would never.
Men was basically bashing me as well, but
for
they-
saying what?
for
From the
for
podcast.
not standing up for her when she was calling herself ugly, which she wasn't calling herself ugly. She was basically saying what people was calling her.
Right.
So anyway, you already cleared that up.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, yeah, man was bashing me, saying that they would never do something like that, this that. When we know half of the men who are more dogs who would do worse stuff.
Of course.
And it's like
I
they
mean,
wasn't.
all men also not like to all men they are not a dog.
Right,
Like when
right.
I listen to men explain themselves, they
They
always have
wouldn't
an
say it in-
explanation.
yeah.
Boy, them living in denial,
They're
brother.
crazy. All the
All
dogs.
man know this dog,
All the
brother.
dogs.
The goal
The
is
same
to
planet, Dulu.
not be a
Same
dog.
planet, Dulu. We have we own.
The goal is to not be a dog one day.
Yeah.
Do you want me
know?
trying that? Like, do you genuinely
Yeah,
believe?
yeah,
Eventually in life.
yeah.
But I feel like at a certain point in life,
Certain types of men too.
True.
As always tell my little
But some
cousins
mistakes
and
are
my little, all my little female friends and them, as always tell them this. The key to choosing a good man is not a man that just good to you, but he good to the world.
Stop
He
right there.
good to people.
Stop right there. That was my biggest problem.
Right.
That's why I don't like y'all no more.
Right.
Because I genuinely believe that to be with my husband, I
Mm-hmm.
needed him to be a kind man to all women, to all my friends, to all the strangers,
Right.
to our ex.
Of
to
course,
our,
of course.
I actually was delusional enough into thinking that he needed to apologize to any issues he made because
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't respect or trust that he could love me if he didn't want to mend those things.
Right.
Biggest mistakes ever. Gal don't deserve apology. Cause once man good with gal love man. Gal don't know how to friend man. Gal don't know how to humble. I regret that so badly. I am so sorry, and I recommend to all girls. You can only be a girl's girl.
Yeah.
You should only be a girl's girl when you are single. You should be a girl's girl right up to the first time you put a ring on your finger. as soon as he have this ring on my finger,
Right.
you can't genuinely be a girl's girl in the right way. Because women deserve, like, I should be able to send my man to drop my friend home and drop she off safe. And why are doing that now? Why I don't know? He look good. Them that doesn't make sense.
So yeah,
and the thing,
so man and woman can't be friends.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I genuinely want that for my life. I would
Right.
love
But
to.
I
do
know
that.
it is.
It's not true. These women love all men. It doesn't matter. Just a man,
But when the
yes.
bumbo clap.
I wouldn't say all women, but
I said these women
okay,
Right.
love all men. And I'm speaking about a very specific type,
Type
of
of
woman.
woman,
When I
yeah.
said these women.
Don't have your
And
man
if you're
around them kind of
offended by
woman
that,
there.
it means that you are one of them.
You are one of
because
them.
that should fly over your head because I have never liked anybody man in my life.
Yeah.
In my whole life. So you have to know the type of person you are. If that hits you,
Yeah.
stop it.
Yeah. Hey, watch out. I sure about that. My woman can't be friend. Me no business about that. My woman can't be no friend if no man out there. Me don't care about that, brother. Me don't care how long you know him. Me don't care about none of that.
any friendship right now.
Or they could be friends, or they
Or they
can't
can't
be
be
friends.
friends. And-
Okay.
Correct.
No, or they could be friends, EDS.
Yeah, we can
Or
go
they
out
can't
and
be
sing and
friends.
your friends see you.
Yeah.
You come,
Yeah,
hey, we
yeah.
seen girl
Or
and
the
I see
friend.
you. I know no scene. But nah, you can be in your friend car and he dropping you so.
Yeah,
and,
can't
but you forget
bad
that,
marriage.
boy. You're
Like
mad.
boyfriend girlfriend thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I say, all you're pushing the brand. What is the future goals for the career right now?
Well, my husband is actually working towards becoming an artist.
Yeah?
Yes.
You want to sing?
I go
But where the bumbo clad?
Come on, we
Where you want to sing?
outside.
Soca? Zest?
Soca
And this.
and zest. Well, more so for
That your
boy.
first time trying the thing?
Well, technically it's my first time pushing through. So I've made like music, like tracks here and there.
Real big thing that you
Yeah.
never dropped.
Hard
Real,
thing,
like,
huh?
real
I
hard
dropped
thing.
Yeah.
I dropped like 2 tunes in the past 4 years.
So you ain't
Right.
push it out.
I ain't
eh?
pushing for real, but this year I actually
You're
taking
pushing
it
the thing.
serious.
Yeah.
So I'm working with some producers right now.
Who you working with right now?
I'm working with Kali. I was working with Kubiachi.
Right.
So I'm trying to make a song with her.
Soon you gonna be working with KG.
Yeah, I mean, nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
so
that.
we can-
Yeah,
wait,
me know the boy,
And
me
now-
know the
and
boy
now
will be
thinking-
artist.
I'm now thinking of a song with
Yeah.
I have a song in Vinci with Corey that potentially could release this year, but I'm actually
right.
focusing on releasing some tunes for this year for real. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
man,
so
like
he's
good
working
vibes.
on music. I am.
Put the mic on it.
He's working on music. I'm headed into like brand management for the company itself since we switched the approach of the brand. And the company itself is now taking off on its first year of this new cycle because we have 10 like sub brands. I wouldn't bore them with all that information. You can find all of it on fetchtravelers.com. But basically, we are now allowing people to join our experiences into carnivals with us. And it's not even like concierging in the sense that you are going to be like overpriced to do packaging. It's literally directive work where we just connecting you to your best experience, finding discounts and benefits, building new packages, kind of pairing you to the parties and the carnivals that are better fit to your interests, kind of making sure that people get A, the money's worth, and 2, the fullest experience out of all the carnivals. Starting with Jamaica and ending with Uber Soccer Chris.
Ah, boy, that is it. Ah, well, Shan, I mean, I like your vibes, you know. I like your vibes. You
Thank
shock me, you know, and now I even more vexed. Now they're coming wrong sister. Because she have a humble energy. Now you have to stop that shit, right? But before we end this, I want you to look in that camera, there, right?
The one with the guy. I can see
Yeah,
it.
the one with Chinese,
And that's Quentin, right?
right? And I want you to give some advice. Here why I want you to give some advice. There's a black woman and a lot of young black girls going through or will go through the same struggles that you're going through today. It is evident. Black women going through the same struggles 400, 500 years ago and still happening today. So I wanted to look into that camera and give advice to a young black girl from your heart. So when she hear this, it will shift everything up there. Talk to them.
Girl, just get up and do it. You are spectacular because you are you. You are amazing because you are you. You are never too loud and you should never be soft. Stand up because you're amazing.
That is it. Right, my brother, big up yourself same way. I looking out for that new music. Right? Shan, big up yourself same way. Right? Well, I get them all their handles, everything. And
All of mine's right here. Share the brand.
Yeah, show them the thing now, man. Show them the thing now, man.
Shan the brand.
You dig?
Thick.
Right?
Love Kumi X, all platforms, and fedtravelers.co on all platforms.
Yeah.
That is that.
And it's that. All the big up on yourself all the time.
Respect.
Boom.